Despite being a smaller player in today's auto industry, Mazda constantly turns heads with its bold style, exceptional quality, and signature design philosophy. Now, as the brand leans toward electrification, it's also bringing back some of its most iconic technologies. Yes, even the legendary rotary engine is making its comeback, reimagined for the modern era. Mazda fans, get excited because Mazda's CEO announces 5 new Mazda models for 2025 and wows everybody. Number 5. Next generation Mazda MX-5. The Miata is considered to be the most fun-to-drive car you can buy these days by the vast number of car enthusiasts, and we couldn't agree more. Small, light, nimble, and with an open roof, as well as with an engine that's not particularly powerful but really likes to rev, you couldn't ask for more. And now officials confirm that the next generation is on the way. The new model will continue the evolution that started about 35 years ago. Once again, we will see a small, nimble roadster with almost perfect weight distribution, available both with hard and soft top. But it'll be adapted to the new age, which doesn't refer just to tech features and new styling. The Miata is apparently going to be electrified. That's right, the next generation will get an all-electric version as part of the company's wider electrification strategy. How is this going to work, and how much extra weight is going to be added? Well, answers are pretty unclear. The only thing we can say to all those die-hard Miata fans is that there's nothing to worry about because even if the battery kills the Miata's driving excitement, you will still have a choice. Because Mazda will come with the same approach as in the case of the small crossover called the MX-30, meaning that besides battery electric, there's also versions with internal combustion. Of course, most of us would like to see further development of that wonderful 2-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, but the new generation will most likely come with some sort of electrification. Hopefully, it'll be nothing more than a 48-volt mild hybrid setup. Number 4. Mazda EZ6. After more than a decade, the gorgeous Mazda 6 ended its production, and now it's time for a more contemporary successor, one that'll meet modern standards. At first, the company planned the next generation based on the same rear-wheel drive platform that underpins the new CX-90, but they decided to go in a bit of a different way, to embrace full electrification with a stylish sedan. For that, it chose to work together with Chinese EV maker Changan, which provided the platform and electric technology. On the other hand, Mazda's part of the job was the bodywork and interior design, and typically for Mazda, things turned out wonderfully. The EZ6 really catches the spirit of the previous Mazda 6, even though it looks a bit bulkier, maybe due to the massive battery pack located underneath the floor. Once again, their sleek bodywork complemented by the front-end design, which is highlighted by narrow headlights and a massive squared-off grille. The rear end also follows Mazda's contemporary design philosophy with recognizable circular taillights, but upgrades it with a full-width light bar that stretches across the rear. On the inside, plush materials and typical Mazda aesthetics are there, complemented by stylish wood accents and a couple of massive screens, including a 14.6-inch infotainment unit. The electric Mazda 6 is about an inch longer than its combustion predecessor, so there should be more passenger room in the second row as well. Under the skin, the brand new EZ6 comes with a rear-mounted electric motor, while Mazda also claims ideal 50-50 weight distribution, which would ensure engaging handling. There is no word about power figures, but the company estimates 370 miles of range. Moreover, a plug-in hybrid has been announced with 620 miles of range and a 1.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that won't spin the wheels, but rather would serve as a range extender. Number 3. Mazda CX-50 Hybrid. The CX-50 has been around for a few years, but somehow it never managed to impress the customers like its predecessor, the CX-5. So, adequate sales numbers are something the Hiroshima-based company is still waiting for. Meanwhile, the old CX-5 still goes strong and overshadows its successor with ease. Well, that might change soon because the CX-50 is coming with a big novelty for 2025. That novelty comes in the form of a hybrid powertrain. With it, the CX-50 won't just be a stylish SUV anymore, it'll also be quite efficient as well. And the reason why we believe sales figures are going to be good is because the powertrain comes directly from Toyota. Yes, we are talking about the well-known system that combines a 2.5-liter inline-4 with 3 electric motors, with a combined output of 219 horsepower. Since the CX-50 is already produced in Toyota's plant in Alabama, this seems quite natural. The brand new CX-50 hybrid will benefit a lot from the new powertrain, and even though Mazda still hasn't come up with the details, we know very well what to expect. Considering the similar size and weight of the two models, key figures should be similar as well. When it comes to fuel economy, Mazda expects around 38 miles per gallon in a combined ride. Officials haven't come up with 0 to 60 estimations yet, but with the RAV4 being able to complete this task in a bit over 7 seconds, there's no reason for the CX-50 hybrid to be any different. For many, this is a perfect combo. Toyota's excellent hybrid powertrain will finally come in a more inspiring package. It's like a more stylish, better equipped, better built RAV4. Not to mention the superior handling that the CX-50 offers. And it won't be much more expensive either, as Mazda already announced a starting price of around $35,000. Number 2. Mazda ARA. After a pretty modest first attempt at electrification, Mazda is now going full throttle with its EV expansion. We already talked about the EZ6, which is currently reserved for the Chinese market, but that could expand to other parts of the world pretty soon. But these days, when sedans are not the most desirable body styles anymore, what has way more potential for global expansion is a proper SUV, and that's exactly what the Mazda ARA is. The ARA is the latest concept Mazda presented in China, and just like the EZ6, it's part of a joint venture with Changan Automotive. Once again, the Chinese automaker provides battery technology and electric motors, while the Japanese automaker takes care of the exterior and interior design, and from what we can see, it did a fantastic job. From the outside, the new electric crossover looks amazing. It still follows Mazda's contemporary philosophy, but also implements much sharper lines to accentuate the car's all-electric nature. It's pretty much like a CX-5 on steroids, and we like it. So far, we haven't gotten a chance to check the interior, which suggests it may not be ready yet. Still, we may presume that there will be a lot of things in common with the EZ6. Close similarities are expected in terms of the battery and drivetrain, but we will leave figure estimations for some other time. For now, it's important to note that Mazda has taken electrification seriously, and that the ARA, with its aesthetics, build quality, and presumably competitive EV performance, has the potential to make a global breakthrough. Also, another thing that Mazda will have to work out before establishing serial production is the name, which should be in accordance with the rest of the lineup. Some sources suggest the EZ6 name, but we'll stay reserved for now. Production is expected to start in the second half of 2025. Number 1. Mazda RX9. If there's a Mazda we've been missing so badly for all these years, that would be a proper sports car. It's been decades now since the discontinuation of the iconic RX-7, which impressed the world with its gorgeous styling, nimble handling, and of course, rotary engine. The successor, the RX-8, wasn't as amazing, but it was still great to have, and at least had some of Mazda's charm. But that model was discontinued back in 2012, and since then, the biggest thing that has happened was the RX Vision concept from 2016, which was and still is one of the most gorgeous concepts we've seen in decades. Unfortunately, it hasn't made it to serial production yet, but that will change soon. The all-new Mazda RX-9 is coming to catch the fame of its predecessors, and it will feature a rotary engine, though in a bit of a different way than before. It will serve as a range extender, while the main source of power will be the all-electric setup. Currently, details about the power figures are unknown, but with the new standards EVs set in terms of electrification, it's pretty clear that the max output will be much higher compared to that of a 2.6-liter 4-rotor engine from the RX Vision concept, estimated at 562 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque. And some sources suggest that the power figures would be measured in 4 figures, and the 0 to 60 will be a bit over 2 seconds. But we suggest you take these estimations with reserve, because officials should announce some of the details pretty soon. And as for the launch date, it could happen in late 2025, but it's more likely sometime in 2026. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.